Here on Capitol Hill, there's a lot of talk about a possible second round of COVID relief. Both sides hinting that a deal could be close.
There is momentum.
Compromise is within reach.
And the Verify team is here to make sure you're getting the facts on COVID relief and what's next. Let's verify what benefits will run out at the end of the year if Congress and the president do nothing. Here are our sources: the Economic Policy Institute, the Century Foundation, this September notice from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Amy Miller from the Association of International CPAs, and Caroline Bruckner, a professor at American University. Our experts say that we're facing two big deadlines on the national level. First, there's the eviction moratorium, which prevents landlords from kicking out certain renters. You may remember it was mandated by the CARES Act, but expired on July 25th. Then President Trump issued an executive order to bring back a moratorium.
Anyone that had applied for government help to pay their rent or was unable to pay for housing due to loss of income or medical expenses, and importantly, met certain income criteria.
But that moratorium expires on December 31st. Meanwhile, the other big deadline has to do with unemployment.
Okay, so unemployment, there are two items.
Miller tells us that we should focus on two important programs.
The Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, that's PUA.
That program provides unemployment to those typically ineligible, such as the self-employed, gig workers, contractors. And then there's the other benefit, the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, the PEUC.
So this is a 13-week benefit extension for people who have used all of their benefits available in the regular unemployment insurance claim.
But the clock is ticking on those benefits as well, set to expire on December 26th. From here at the Capitol, this is Evan Kozlov with your Verify.